Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News. It is November 19th, 2018. And ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to bring all of you together this morning. I know it's very early. However, Planet X News has a brand new website, and I wanted to go over some of the features on our website because some of the things that I have designed are for all of you who are looking to do your own research. I want to give a big shout out to Blue Kool-Aid. How you doing, brother? Your videos are coming along very, very well. Your research is coming along great. Now listen, folks, I've been working very, very hard on this website for a couple of weeks now, and it's actually turned out fantastic. The website, I just wanted to really give all of you some tools and some easy access so you don't have to go searching around without having true knowledge of where to find things. So I'm going to be going over some of this with you, and we're going to be taking a look at the sun. We're going to be taking a look at all of these earthquakes. We're going to be taking a look at some of the climate chaos. Hopefully I can answer a lot of questions because over the course of the last week, I literally received 4,000 emails. And if some of you are wondering why I haven't gotten back to you, it's because we get barraged by emails and inbox messages from literally all over the world. If you just give me 1 second, folks, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my live chat so I can see everybody here. Just give me 1 second. And we will turn this on. I hope all of you can hear me very, very well. I know I have a big mouth. And here we go. Okay. Now, the reason why I designed the website like I did, and it's for you guys to have all of this information right at your fingertips. Our website address is still www.planetxnews.org. .org, not .com. That takes you to David Mead's channel. If you go planetxnews.com, that takes you to his channel. There's nothing there, or his website. There's nothing there. So it's www.planetxnews.org. O-R-G. Bookmark it, and the website address, all of our information is in the description box under all of our videos. And when I say our, I'm meaning myself and Dr. Albers. Now, I'm going to go over this with you real quick. And naturally, we have our home page here. You have Planet X News on YouTube, Planet X News on Facebook up here. You have Dr. Albers' website right here, her YouTube channel. You have a direct link to all 9 of the books that we have published in 2018 and 2017. There's a direct link for our Planet X News store in case any of you would like to purchase hoodies, t-shirts, things of that nature. That link is right there. There is also a donate button to Planet X News. Now, I know a lot of the little troll babies, they criticize us for having a donation button, a contribution button, or a link in our website. But here's the thing, folks. Every single week, Dr. Albers and I receive so many emails from people all over the world that are reviewing her work and reviewing the work that we've done here at Planet X News. And they're very adamant about making a donation, making a contribution to what we do. Now, I'm going to be quite honest with you folks. Over the course of this year, I've actually returned some contributions because, well, they were kind of over the top. I had one husband and wife from Japan that sent Dr. Albers and I 1,000 US dollars. And at first I thought maybe they made a mistake using their PayPal account to send that kind of money. So I reversed the charge, and I sent it back to this couple. A few days later, they sent us an email asking us why we returned their $1,000 donation. Well, that clarified to me that they were actually sending that kind of money. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not necessary. You know, if you want to send a few dollars, that's perfectly fine. We get small donations every single day. A few months ago, a very, very nice lady in Germany sent Dr. Albers a $500 donation, and Dr. Albers refused it because, again, it's just over the top. And the same thing occurred. You know, we got an email from this lady, and she was wondering why we refused and returned her donation, because it was excessive. We understand that all of you need your money, but if you do want to make donations to Planet X News and Dr. Albers, you can do so. That's not a problem. Just don't be sending us your house payments and your car payments. Okay, we know that you need that money. Now, let's move on back to the website now that we have that out of the way. I am working every single day gathering news and space news from around the world. News that I think is pertinent and I think that all of you will enjoy. Now, whenever you click on our main article, the minute I upload an article, it will appear right here, real big. Also, right here on the side, these are all current articles in chronological order as I have uploaded them. And there's a little slider right here, so you can go on through those. Each time Dr. Albers and I upload one of our videos to our YouTube channels, it will appear right here. Now, one thing I would love to do, I would love to get away from YouTube because, well, you know, they're still censoring us. They're still filtering our content, and there's no doubt about that. Just this year, Planet X News has put on almost 30,000 new subscribers, literally 1,000 subscribers plus every single month. But the views, they just disappear. And we don't care about that. As long as all of you now have a place to go where you can gather as much information as you can, and our website is the key. So bookmark it, www.planetxnews.org. Now, you can click this button right here and you can instantly subscribe to Planet X News. All of our current videos, as they are coming up, they are right here. Okay, and this will continue to update itself as we update videos on our website. Now, Dr. Albers does have her own blog website, and that link is in the description box under the video, www.dralbers.com. So things are working out pretty well. Now, getting to the research part, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to show you this main menu right here. And this menu is for all of you that want to do your own research. So all of the research links that I use on a daily basis are right there on the right-hand side. So if you just look for research links, you have the Solar Dynamics Observatory, USGS, the current earthquake map that I use besides the USGS. You have Stereo Core 2, SOHO and LASCO coronagraphs, the ISWA website, which we're going to be reviewing in a few minutes, the polar drift. All of this information, everything, all of this, it's all right here at your fingertips. These are direct links straight to these sites. So if you don't want to bookmark every single one of these websites that I use for research, simply bring yourself back to planetxnews.org, bookmark the site, put it in your menu bar right on your computer. All you have to do is click on it. So whenever you do that, you're bringing yourself up to date with all of the current articles that I am putting up on our website and the videos. At the same time, you're giving yourself access to all of these research links immediately. And you know, folks, for all of you that would like to make videos using my information or Dr. Albers' information, listen, I don't mind if you use our videos. You can click on them, you can narrate through them, mute the video and give your own narration. As long as you are not trying to, quote, be a troll baby and changing the information. If you want to give your opinion on something, that's perfectly fine, but please don't change the information. Now, we're also releasing a lot of Dr. Albers' reports that will be embedded directly into news articles. So not only will you be able to listen to her video, you will be able to look and read the report that she has written. And I'll go over that in a few minutes. Something else that I've added into our new website, and once again, I've created some of these things specifically for you guys, for our followers, for our subscribers, our people. And if you go right over here at close to the bottom, this is a live chat. Now, right now, I have this set for only 5 people at a time can actually click on here. And if you click in the little menu, or excuse me, the little text box right there, you can log in very rapidly by using your Facebook account. Now, it doesn't send us any of your information. It just brings you up. Now, you could use Twitter. You can come in as a guest, and you can actually start to chat live with people that are here. Now, I'm going to be increasing the quantity of people that are allowed in the chat up to 100 people at a time. So, if there are things that you would like to discuss with other researchers, other findings, you can do it right here. Okay, just be nice with each other. Don't troll each other. Don't argue with each other. But I want to create a research tool for all of you so you can have privacy within this website to go and chat and show each other what you're finding. Okay, now within that chat, you can share pictures, you can share links, and so on and so forth. So again, a lot of what I've done, a lot of what I've created is for you guys, because now I am seeing hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people wanting to research this subject matter. And that is exactly what I've been trying to do for the last 3 years. And that is bring all of you on board, bring all of you up to speed. Now, I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but a lot of people don't have all of the knowledge that I have or Dr. Albers has. I've been researching the Planet X system since I was in college, and that goes all the way back. I'm not trying to show my age here, but that goes all the way back to first hearing about it in 1989 from one of my college professors. And I got to tell you, it was kind of weird. We were in a theology class, and my professor was an ex-FBI profiler. He had been retired for several years. He had now become a professor. And all of a sudden, just one day he cracked off with some newspaper articles and some press releases, and we just started talking about this subject. And then later on, I was always an earth space science buff. I loved it in high school, and I still love it to this day. And he started filling me in on these objects or this objects and some of the history behind it. So that's how I actually ended up getting involved with my research. Now, I've tried very hard over all of these years to educate myself within all of these sciences, And it's an ongoing process. It is an every single day process. As technology has come aboard, I've had to learn more and more and more. So I'd like to be a teacher of some kind for all of you. Blue Kool-Aid. This gentleman, Mark, he's got a nice little YouTube channel and he's doing some really good work. And I've been conversing back and forth with him, and he's doing his best to understand a lot of these models and a lot of the science behind what we're doing. Not everybody has this level of, hey, I can understand all of this. A lot of times I have to ask Dr. Albers, hey, what does this mean? What does that mean? Or I have to do additional research in order to educate myself on how to read some of these models. What am I looking at? What am I looking for? So from this point on, I'm going to try my damnedest to help each and every one of you understand, because folks, we're now getting down to the nitty-gritty of a lot of cataclysmic events occurring on this planet. And you're not going to hear about them in the mainstream news. You're just not. They are too busy with their cover-ups, dealing with drama with U.S. politics and European politics. Now, I keep up on all of that with the MFA Media Group, and that's a whole nother story. I'll go into that at some other time. But I want this website to be available for all of you to do your research and to come together, whether you want to call it a community, a family. I prefer it as a team, okay? Because that's what we are. We're a team. We're all striving to gain this knowledge of what is happening to our planet, what is happening to our sun, what is happening in our tiny little solar system, okay? So if you guys happen to use the live chat in here, I'll be increasing this to 100 people later on today, and you can check it out. And all you got to do, just click on with your little Facebook tab. It automatically logs in. Now, you can invite people, but you see, now I'm in here, and I could type hello, and now I'm in here. Now, you can share photographs. You can open this chat up into a full wide screen. Kind of reminds me back in the day of the America Online chat rooms. So if you want to exit out of here, you'll learn how to use this. You just click on this little button, let your pointer hover over it. It will tell you what those little keys are for. Log out of the chat. There you go. I'm logged out. Now down here, there are more articles that I've written over the course of the last couple of days. All of this information it's all right here for you. And I'd appreciate it if you guys share the articles. Okay, there are little share buttons for Facebook and Twitter. And the more you guys share the information on your private accounts like Twitter and Facebook, the more people that see what is happening. So we are truly part of the awakening, okay? One of my main logos that I use for Planet X News is The Awakening. The first book that Dr. Albers and I wrote back in 2017 was called Planet X, The Awakening. Because, ladies and gentlemen, that is truly what it is, okay? I know a lot of people out there may get on your case about researching these types of things. Just blow them off, okay? Because the reason why you are researching these things is because you are already awake, or you're getting there, and you are truly seeing what is happening. Therefore, you have to be a teacher. You will have to teach the people that you know. It will become a massive worldwide network. And that is something that I started back in 2016. Creating this network of people all over the world, sharing this information. Now, social media, meaning Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, have made it increasingly harder to do these things. Now, right now, if a lot of you are inboxing me on the Planet X News Facebook page or my public figure page or even my personal Facebook page, it is suspended. Okay, Facebook usually suspends my Facebook page about 2 to 3 times a year. I think I have about maybe 2 more weeks under this stupid suspension, and I'll be able to, get back in the groove. Now, I have a secondary account that I use, and that's my way of kind of, getting around their suspension. And Dr. Albers is also an administrator on the Planet X News Facebook page and also my public figure page. So, we kind of got it covered. We kind of worked around it. But all of these articles, very, very interesting. And I can guarantee you won't find an article here on planetxnews.org that's going to be boring. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and pan all the way down here. Now, you'll be able to watch live streams right here in this box. If you don't want to go to YouTube and you know that we're live streaming, the live stream will show up right there. Now, I have it turned off right now so it doesn't interfere with what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and pan all the way back up here. So remember, all of your links, all of my research links, every single one of them, it's all right here. Okay, and again, this was specially designed for all of you that want to have access instantaneously. You don't want to go searching for these links. They're all right here. And what we'll do is I'll go ahead and show you. We'll go ahead and click on this this story that just came out once again. This big interstellar interlooper, as they call it, this big gigantic space rock. Some people are referring to it as an alien spaceship. Oumuamua, I think that's how they pronounce it. I've heard it pronounced several different ways. But yeah, man, NASA's coming out with more and more information, and they're kind of like leaking this out there maybe once, twice a week. Updates on this this gigantic space rock. And I've written a little bit of an article about here. I've included the original JPL NASA explanation of what this Oumuamua interstellar asteroid really is. And, well, who knows? Who knows what that big object is? Right here, again, folks, you can share, you can retweet the article, and that would be fantastic. Here is an archive of every single article that I've written going all the way back to September of 2016. You can go ahead and leave a comment on the article that you read right here. And just let me give you a little warning for all of the troll babies. Those comments are instantly moderated. And if you get out of hand, my website sends me your IP address. So if you get out of hand and you're leaving threatening comments, it's very easy now for me to ban your IP address. So it's not that easy for you to go out there and buy a new cell phone and get a new IP address or change your cable subscriber or your internet subscriber so you can get a new IP address, because I'll ban your ass just like that. So mind your manners. Simple as that. So yes, folks, the new planetxnews.org website up and running. I would greatly appreciate it if all of you start to use it, share the articles, and I think this will help a lot of you. That way you won't have to search for all of this information that I use, because all of it is right here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and let me get out of here. Now that we've covered that, I want to take a look at all of these earthquakes. I've been monitoring earthquake activity for a very, very long time. And the current conditions that we are in, we are going to stay in these conditions of very severe earthquake activity. Now, this is live. These are live earthquakes that are happening right now. We just had one blow off right here in Greece 33 minutes ago, magnitude 5.1. But you can see this whole entire line of earthquakes. Now, none of these are, big earthquakes, relatively 4s and 5s, but some of them are starting to happen in just weird places, like this one I'm pointing to right here. Okay, right off the coast of Madagascar. I mean, these are just very, very strange earthquakes. And there was a little bit of a bigger one right up in here, magnitude 4.2, right in a mountainous area right off the coast of the state of Washington. And again, a lot of activity right up here in Alaska. A lot of activity in the state of California. Every time I point that out, though, folks, I get some bozo that says, oh, we always have earthquakes in California. Well, okay, that's fine. Why don't you make your way over to the San Andreas Fault and stick your head in one of those cracks? The reason why I point it out, folks, is because the activity has been increasing all the way down the whole entire San Andreas Fault. All the way down. There's been a lot of accumulating smaller earthquakes accumulating right here in Southern California. And if you zoom into that area, the San Andreas Fault takes a turn right there. Okay, so, for people that are critical when I point these things out, maybe go out and do some research and, maybe you could leave a more intelligent comment. So that is the current situation as we look at earthquake activity just flowing right across the globe. We've seen some earthquake activity last week, quite a bit, up around Iceland and right off the coast of Greenland. Okay, so I do think that earthquake activity at this scale is going to be with us for quite a long time. The reason being, and let's go ahead and start dipping into some of this other information. Let's bring up the Solar Dynamics Observatory. I've mentioned this many, many times, folks. The sun has lost a tremendous amount of energy. Number one, due to the interaction with Planet X. Planet X is absolutely orbiting our sun. Okay, my theory, and from what I've seen over the course of the last 3 years, is my belief is that this object is orbiting the sun very, very fast in about a 28-day cycle. Okay, it's not a perfect orbit like we orbit around the sun on a flat plane. I do believe it is on a little bit of an incline like this. That's why we see a lot of anomalies here. We end up seeing a lot of anomalies here. And folks, just take a look at your screen. Okay, I've gone over this before and I showed the evidence, maybe 2 weeks ago that, yeah, the sun is going dark. We use that terminology. And I'm referencing the sun's corona, the outer corona right here. I mean, there is no corona on the top. There is none on the bottom. We have a massive coronal hole that has established itself on the top of the sun back in 2016. It's getting worse. The same applies for the bottom of the sun, right down here. Permanent coronal hole. Now, if you're wondering, well, what's causing all of the earthquakes? What is inducing all of this? Well, you're looking at it right now on your screen. If you just take a look at all of this black area on the this model of the sun, okay, this is coming from the Solar Dynamics Observatory. This is in the 211 angstroms of light, ultraviolet light coming from the SDO spacecraft. Now, it gives you this view so we can see the corona better, and we could also see the coronal holes. Okay, so if the spacecraft did not have the technology that it does, all we would see is this, this little bright light out there 93 million miles away. So this black surface that you see here, this is basically showing what is underneath the sun's atmosphere. And I'll just use that terminology. The corona of the sun, this light purple area that you see here, that's kind of like the sun's atmosphere. So if the sun's atmosphere kind of parts away it is allowing the internal mechanisms to spew all of those heavily charged particles straight towards the Earth, because this is the view that the camera on the SDO has. The SDO is in a geosynchronized orbit with the Earth. So what the SDO sees is kind of like an Earth view. All of these particles are directed straight towards the Earth. And as you can see, the whole entire Earth view that you're looking at right now is a massive solar stream, all of the solar wind blazing right to the Earth. Now, this has been happening in frequency for the last 3 years. It has actually gotten worse, but one of the biggest factors is now we're moving into this grand solar minimum, or a solar minimum. A lot of people say, well, that's kind of when the sun goes to sleep for 11 years, or the sun's activity diminishes, which means we're not going to have that many solar flares, we're not going to have that many sunspots. But here's one of the key factors, folks. Whenever the sun's energy is diminished during a solar minimum, our shields, the magnetosphere, the magnetopause, weakens here on Earth. That is our buffer zone between the sun's energy and the Earth. And we're going to go ahead and start looking at that, because I know a lot of people are looking at the magnetopause on a daily basis, and they're wondering about all of these anomalies that they're seeing. And folks, yeah, this is quite dangerous, because more radiation is now getting through, because our magnetosphere works in conjunction with the sun's output. So when the sun's output is at full speed, meaning like it was 10 years ago, okay, our shield, our magnetosphere is strong. That buffer zone is strong. Now that the sun has lost so much energy, that means that our magnetosphere, our buffer zone, has weakened. Okay, so yes, we are joined with the sun. Whatever happens to that star affects us here on Earth. Okay, so as the sun continues to lose energy, so will our buffer zone. So will the Earth's magnetic field. And it will cause very severe issues on this planet. And you are already seeing them. You're living them. You're experiencing it. Everybody on this planet cannot run, nor can they hide from what is happening. And ladies and gentlemen, you and myself and everybody else on this planet are just in the beginning phases of what's about to happen. I'm not trying to scare you, but it's a fact. Things are not going to get any better anytime soon. We could be under these effects for the next 10 to 15 years. So just imagine how things are now, and just imagine a year from now and 2 years from now. Things are going to get worse. And it may happen at a faster pace. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on, and Dr. Albers is also keeping her eye on that. So whenever you see all of these dark regions on the sun, those are basically massive openings, and that is spewing all of that heavily charged particle material directly from the sun headed straight to the Earth. So we're going to go ahead and jump out of the SDO, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at the solar wind model. Now, folks, all of the models that I'm using right now, They're all available right there on the planetxnews.org website. Let's take a look at this. Okay, you can see the sun right here in the middle, and you can see the Earth right here. As the sun rotates, and you can see that coronal hole is spewing out its matter. Okay, so we kind of just passed right through one of those streams. Here comes another light stream right there, and there's more behind it. It's like a big, gigantic pinwheel. We just can't get out of it. Now, this is kind of a top view, and this is showing you the matter spewing from the sun, heading straight to the Earth. I'm going to go ahead and stop this. I'm going to bring it back so we can actually see it. So we see the Earth. We see the mass coming from the sun in the form of this solar wind, as you can see where my pointer is. I'm just going to go ahead and move the cursor a little bit. Now, you see how it is already interacting with the Earth. That right there is a direct hit. This is in real time. We just took a look at the earthquake map. Okay, so this was yesterday, going into the 19th. So let's go ahead and move it forward. So you can see right here, the Earth moved through a mass coming from the sun on the 18th, from the 17th to the 18th, going into the 19th. Well, if you remember the earthquake map that I just showed you, you saw the string of earthquakes all the way across the entire world. Okay, so there are some people that will debate you and say that the solar wind has nothing to do with earthquake activity, and that's a complete lie. Okay, because I've been monitoring this for a very, very long time, and this is backed by science, just not my opinion. Okay, so as we go ahead and move forward, now you see going into the 23rd, here comes another mass coming from the sun, and it is targeting the Earth. And bingo, right here on the 25th, going into the 25th, the Earth is going to get hit again. And if you look right behind it, there is another portion of the solar wind with a bigger stream coming, and that will probably hit the Earth, I would say on the 26th, between the 26th and the 27th. And this gives you another view here. Now, you have your plasma density. That I'll kind of get into that at another time, but the plasma density is relatively low. And here you have the radial velocity in kilometers per second. And that's how fast the solar wind is moving from the sun to the Earth. Usually it will be between 500 and 900 kilometers per second, which, in miles per hour is pretty fast. But remember, these are charged particles. They are zipping through space. It's actually not a wind like stepping outside and having the wind blow through your hair. It's just referred to as a solar wind. What it actually is a flow of heavily charged particles streaming from the sun. So, it is relatively moderate. And that is something that you would normally see during the beginning phases of a solar minimum. And we're going to get into that right now. So we'll exit out of here. And let's go ahead and pull up the Magnetopause, and let's expand this a little bit so you can all see this. Now, folks, whenever you go ahead and pull this up, this is under the ISWA, ISWA site. And whenever you want to pull up the magnetosphere, you just go right here, click on the tab that says magnetosphere, pull up that icon, click on it, and you could expand and make this this little box bigger. Okay, you can make it bigger. Now, what I do is I click on this date box right here. And this is usually set to the number 10. I increase it to 300 frames. And this gives me a little bit of time going back in time. Not that far, maybe about a day or a day and a half. I increase it to about 5 frames per second, and that gives me a little bit more of a speed of the actual video that's playing. You have a slider right down here at the bottom. You see me manipulating it right now. You can just hit the play button and it will go through. You can see the date and the time up here. And this is the shield that I was referring to, our bow shock, our magnetopause. Here's a scale over here off to the side. That's giving you the density. And you see all of this blue area here. Relatively low density. But a lot of people are wondering why are we seeing all of these colors back behind the Earth? You have the daytime side in white, the nighttime side in black. Dotted line is the satellite belt, satellites rotating around the Earth in orbit. Now, a lot of times, folks, when you see what is happening here, the Earth is being hit by this solar wind. Okay, these heavily charged particles are trying to bounce off of our magnetosphere, but unfortunately, because our magnetosphere has become weak because of the sun, they're getting through. These heavily charged particles do penetrate, and they penetrate to the Earth, and through a little bit of time, they penetrate all the way down through the Earth's crust, through the mantle, all the way down to the core, and that pressure increases. That temperature increases. When that increases, bingo, we have volcanic activity and we have seismic activity worldwide. Okay? Now, whenever you see these illuminated areas back behind the sun, or excuse me, back behind the Earth, it's not because there's an object behind the Earth. A lot of this is buffered around and it gets sucked back in. So a lot of people I see making videos and they're assuming that there is an object behind the Earth, you know, maybe out there past Mars or whatever. That's not the case. When this solar wind hits the front part of our bow shock or our bow shock, it tends to wrap around. And when it wraps around, yes, it will cause higher levels that will appear on this magnetopause. Now, we're going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and jump out of here. And let's bring up the model for the solar wind. Let me expand this. We'll get it going full screen. And the same thing with this, folks. I always expand this out to 300 frames and about 5 frames per second. Okay? And we'll go ahead and back this up. Right up here in the corner where you see my cursor, this is the solar wind speed. This is the solar wind speed. This is the solar wind speed right here. And once again, this is our bow shock. And you can see, yes, it's highly inflamed. Let's just say that. The arrows, that designates the direction of the solar wind. Now, you see some of these arrows fading back towards the Earth. Now, that is what I was just explaining to all of you. The solar wind will wrap around, and it will come in from the backside of the Earth. These particles are now making their way through our protection, our Earth shield, and they are making their way back around. So they will loop around this way, they will loop around this way, and they will penetrate the dark side of the Earth. So during this time, over the next 11 years, 12 years, it could be 15 years, we are going to be going through these phases every single day. And they're going to get worse, much worse than what the Earth is experiencing right now. Trust me on that. Now, we're seeing very, very low speeds with the solar wind. Now, just the other day, the solar wind reached, I think, almost 2 or 3 million miles per hour, which is highly excessive. and that came directly from a massive opening on the sun. It was able to eject that massive amount of heavily charged particles, boom, straight to the Earth. And it was moving pretty good, and it impacted the Earth. And a few days later, bing, 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 we had magnitude 6 and above earthquakes stringing out across the globe. Those are the dangers that I'm referring to. Okay, so I'll go ahead and let this play so you guys can see this. And you'll see the solar wind is actually low, and you'll see this area here changing colors. And here's your graph over here. And naturally, when you get into these yellows, oranges, and reds, that's excessive, that's high. But the solar wind speed isn't high. The reason why the solar wind speed is not high is because the sun's going to sleep. And it's only starting to nod off right now. We're only in the beginning phases of a grand solar minimum, like day 1. Okay, so solar minimums, as scientists state, last for periods of 11 years. You guys can look into this information about grand solar minimums, and there's a fantastic YouTube channel out there called the Grand Solar Minimum. It's headed by Jake and Mari. Jake does extensive research on the Grand Solar Minimum. If you want to learn more about it, follow his YouTube channel and you will learn. Now, a lot of people that are involved with researching Grand Solar Minimum look forward to, with their research, of an ice age. And there have been plenty of times throughout history where that has occurred, but not the entire globe, okay? We will probably see different areas of the globe that will kind of seem like they're slipping into an ice age. Now, I don't know for sure, okay? I don't have a crystal ball, and neither do other YouTube channels, okay? We basically are going to have to live through this and see what happens. That much is a fact, okay? Listen to the information, do some of your own research, try to learn as much as you possibly can. So you will see all of these different anomalies. Whenever we get into the green colors and the yellows, that's kind of normal. But as of lately, we've been seeing this kind of low pressure forming behind the Earth. And it's been happening now for the last couple of years. So what you're seeing over here to the right in this orange, this is an elevated level. However, the solar wind speed is low, very low, extremely low. And it is impacting the Earth. And the streams that are coming from the sun are heavy. Okay, and they will penetrate all the way down to the Earth's core. They will light it up like the 4th of July, which creates earthquakes, which creates volcanic activity. Okay, this will also light up our ionosphere. Heating up our ionosphere, ladies and gentlemen, is very dangerous. Very dangerous. Okay, and that's something that Dr. Albers wants to get into with all of you, because we've been seeing some very, very critical changes in our ionosphere. Dangerous changes. Okay, but we'll get into that at another time on another live stream. But it is currently happening now. Let's go ahead and pull the magnetosphere up. This is, again, a different model. I do the same thing here. I increase it to 300 frames. Takes me back in time just a little bit, about a day or so. And I increase it to the 5 frames. I hit apply. Now, again, you could use the slider, as you see me doing back and forth here. And you could also let it play out. Once again, kind of the same model. You'll see the color code here. This dark burnt orange, absolutely abnormal. Okay, it should be green, which means it's extensive. The amount of solar wind that's coming in, it's very, very heavily charged. Okay, and These field lines that you see going back here, magnetic field lines, you'll see them stretching all over the place. This has a lot to do with the Earth's magnetic field. It's kind of difficult to understand, but normally, I'm going to go ahead and stop this. Normally, what you want to see are the IMF lines and the closed field lines. You want to see them in a steady stream right back behind the Earth. You don't want to see all of this reaching. You'll see these little black spaghetti lines reaching all over the place. When they're doing that, things are out of control. And that's basically how it's been. It's been like this for quite some time. The last couple of weeks, it's been, let's just say, it's been very, very interesting to watch. And the earthquakes just follow right behind situations like this. And again, it's not going to get any better. Okay, from this point on, it's actually going to get worse. I'm not trying to scare you folks, but I'm just trying to make you understand what is happening. As of right now, there's no good light at the end of the tunnel. We're going to be going through all of this together. And I think the more that people know and the more that they understand, the easier it is to accept. Okay? Like the saying that I coined a few years ago, and a few others have picked up on it. Don't be scared, be prepared. Okay? Don't be scared, be prepared. You know, the majority of you have families, and you have children. You need to be prepared. You need to prepare them. You need to make them understand that some of these things that are occurring, you know, it's the world that they are going to grow up in. They are going to live. You know, us that are in our 40s and our 50s and our 60s, hey, you know damn well our time is now limited. But for our children, they have a lot of time. They may have 50, 60, or 70 more years on this planet. Who's going to give them the knowledge of what is occurring? Who would you rather teach your children? You or someone else? I would rather it be me. So folks, maybe in the very near future, take the time, start sitting your family down, maybe getting them involved in showing them some of this science and making them understand what is happening. Because in due time, they are going to be asking questions. You know, you hear the mainstream media now using this term, you know, millennials and snowflakes, and so on and so forth. Well, listen, these millennials and these snowflakes, I mean, they have no idea. Maybe some do, the majority don't, but they have no idea what is going on. They don't know what the Earth looked like 30 years ago, or 40 years ago, or 50 years ago. Okay? They only know about right now. I think a lot of schools in the United States have failed our kids in teaching them proper science, proper history, proper economics. That's a big problem. Big problem. But again, I think we should take point in teaching our kids about climate change and about the changes that are occurring on this world now, right now. Because as time goes on, your children are going to have families and they're going to need to teach their kids. If we make it that far, who knows? There are so many drastic things happening. The earth is supposed to be a beautiful place for all of us to live. It is now becoming a very dangerous place, a very hostile place. Not only with our governments and crazy lunatics in politics, but the earth itself is under siege, not only by these stellar core objects, but by the sun. And even though the sun is going into its dormant phase, don't think that a massive CME cannot occur. They could be very, very damaging. U.S. military Major Ed Dames, remote viewer, has done a lot of work. I've referred to him many, many times. I've showed a lot of his videos and his material. People think he's a quack. But if you think that Major Ed Dames is a quack, then why was he the United States Army's top remote viewer for 20 years? 20 years. He's the best in the business. He's retired, and he has kind of disappeared. In 2017, he did his last show, and somebody asked him during his presentation about Planet X, and he stated Planet X is real. Planet X is destroying the sun. And for us to be leery, to be aware of a kill shot, as he referred to it. A kill shot referring to a large solar blast in the form of a CME directed straight at Earth. That could be cataclysmic. That would destroy all of our electricity and electronics worldwide. He talks about it extensively. As he remote viewed that situation, it scared him to death for the first time in his career. And he has seen it all. Everything that Major Ed Dames has referred to over the course of the last several years is all coming true. So how could the man be a quack? When people make statements like that, they're just stupid. Stupid, ignorant people. The United States military is not going to invest that amount of money and that amount of training and that amount of time into one man unless it was critical. And we still don't know everything that Major Ed Dames was involved in with the United States Army and remote viewing. He teaches, well, he used to teach the classes to help people become remote viewers. There are many other governments around the world that currently use remote viewers. Russia, China, Germany, the United States. So, folks, you might want to start to think with a little bit of a bigger open mind. Very, very strange times that we are living in. Very dangerous times. I'm going to go ahead and jump out of here. And I'm going to dip over here to the jet stream. Now, if any of you don't remember, about 2 months ago, I said, and I'll repeat myself once again, that there was a very, very high possibility that the jet stream was going to take a very, very severe dip. Dr. Albers and I estimated it to be about a 17-degree dip to the south, which would in turn become a pretty cataclysmic event weather-wise? Well, here we are, and the jet stream has taken a substantial dip. This is going to create, let me just go ahead and zoom in here. Okay, this is this red and purple and pink area that you see here. This is our jet stream. Okay, and it has actually, let's go take a look at it from the top of the Earth, looking straight down on top of the North Pole. It is completely erratic. Dangerous levels for our jet stream. I mean, I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. I've been a weather watcher going on 30 years now. Meteorologists will slip up and say the same thing when it comes to the jet stream. You could see a massive amount of turbulence and circulation all by itself, right up here. That's going to create absolutely intense weather. And that's over Greenland, going over Iceland, and into the Nordic countries. But you can see what's happening here in the United States. The jet stream should be way up here. Way up here. Coming across right below, I would say right below the state of Washington and Oregon. All of a sudden, there's a massive trough and split right here. But look where it's coming from. It is now moving over Mexico. What will that do? That will rush in warm air from the Pacific over Mexico, and that will bring warmer air up into the central part of the United States and over through the East Coast. What will that do? As you have all of this cold air rushing down, look where it's meeting up. So as we move on into the winter time and the winter solstice here in the northern hemisphere, with these types of conditions, we are going to see massive winter storms all the way through this region. It happened last year. This year, I predict that it's going to be probably 2 to 3 times worse than it was last year. We will probably have kind of a wet winter in this section of the United States. Let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. From the East Coast, kind of in this sector right here, you will see kind of a wet winter. But I am thinking, by analyzing all of this every single day and looking at all of these models every single day, I do believe that west of the Mississippi River is going to be hell for the entire winter, all the way into the late spring of 2019. Be prepared. If any of you folks live in this north central region of the United States, leading all the way over to Ohio, west of the Mississippi River, I'm telling you, be prepared. And that doesn't leave the folks on the East Coast off the hook. Oh, hell no. They'll be getting a lot of lake effect snow coming down off the Great Lakes as time goes on. But we may see very severe ice storms. Black ice on the roads, literally raining in the afternoon, and then sheets of ice. Roadways turning to ice. Driving in the snow is one thing, but trying to drive on thick ice, well, that's another thing. And I don't care how badass your 4-wheel drive truck is or your 4-wheel drive SUV. When it comes to black ice and ice on the roads, forget about it. You're going to have an accident. So folks, it is now time once again for everybody to start paying very, very close attention to your weather. These weather systems will have the ability to change at a blink of an eye and get you stuck chuck without a buck. Okay, just the other day, right here in the city of Pittsburgh, just north of the city, they got a tremendous amount of snow and ice that came in, boom, just like that. I'm 25 miles south of the city. All I got was rain. But then the temperatures dropped. They dropped just below freezing, 31 degrees. The roadways looked like they were wet, but they weren't. They were sheets of black ice, and there were accidents all over the place. Many people killed. People were on the expressways and the parkways and the highways saying, the hell with this. I'm getting out of my car and I'm walking to the nearest exit. Because last year, we all saw the situations with all of these snowstorms coming in, people getting jammed up on the highways, and you got these lunatics going 60 miles an hour on snow-covered roads, and then you see what? 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 car pileups. People getting killed. People not using their head. People not using common sense. So folks, we're going to be in for one hell of a ride this winter, and it's going to go all the way through to the spring of 2019. One big factor that is coming into play right now is all of these fires in the state of California. Oh my God, what devastation. A lot of people referring to what is happening. This is being done by directed energy weapons. I agree. I have said this before, folks, and I will say it again. They want everybody off of the coastlines. Where are our coastlines? Our coastlines are the Pacific Ocean, the state of California, Oregon, Washington. The other coastline, Gulf of Mexico. The other coastline, the Atlantic coast. What do you do to the people on the Atlantic coast, East Coast? You blast them with hurricanes and floods. What do you do to the folks in the Gulf of Mexico? Same thing, hurricanes and floods. What do you do to the folks on the West Coast in California? You burn them out for the second time this year. They did it last year and they did it the year before. Why? Folks, there has been a mass exodus of people leaving the state of California and relocating. And where are they relocating? Inland. The majority of these people are moving to the state of Texas. Inland. There have been rumors throughout time that the United States government is trying to corral people in a general population in the middle of the country. Where are the majority of the FEMA camps? In the middle of the country. If you don't believe me, hell, research it for yourself. I'm going to go ahead and back out of here real quick, and we are going to take a look at some temperatures. Now, getting into the Earth cooling down. Well, I don't know about the Earth cooling down, folks. I think the Earth is actually heating up. And the reason why the Earth would be heating up is because what is happening with our ionosphere and what is also happening with our magnetic field. If our magnetic field is weakening, then that means more solar radiation is getting in. And what does radiation do? Well, it heats things up. Okay, so we can see the instantaneous widespread activity on the top of the Earth. This is the North Pole. And once again, it's looking exactly like it did last year However, it's going to be worse. And if you look right here, you see this area here? Those are moderate temperatures. We can click on that and get a temperature of 44.4 degrees. Folks, that's up in the North Pole. Okay, let's go all the way over here by Siberia. Let's see what the temperature is. 41.3 degrees. This steady flow caused by the jet stream wrapping up right along Greenland and Iceland and right along Norway and up into the northern tier of the Nordic countries. Once again, this is mimicking exactly what happened last year, but it is already worse than it was last year at the same time. Okay, so things are progressively getting worse quickly, and it's early, and it's already happening. Let's go get a temperature dead center in the middle of the earth. Let's see what it is. I'm just curious. Minus 10 degrees. That's it. Top dead center on the earth in the North Pole, it's only minus 10. That's it. So the Arctic, or excuse me, the North Pole, the Arctic region, still big problems, man. Big problems. A lot of ice melt this past season. Tremendous amount of ice melt. That could also upset the jet stream. If you don't believe me, start listening to a climatologist. They'll tell you they have big concerns about what is happening in the North Pole. You see these purple regions. Let's take a look, because these should be really, really cold in these upper tiers of Canada. Let's take a look. Minus 31.2. Now, that's more like it. That's more like it. So the upper tiers of Canada are colder than the very top of the earth by 20-some degrees. Absolutely insane. And you could see the orange areas and the red areas. That's all heat. It's all heat. 104.3 degrees right there. Africa. Yes, we all know Africa's pretty hot. It's not too far up from the equator. Pretty extensive. We're also going to see big problems over here in the Middle East, and we are already seeing them. I just did an article this morning about an entire desert in Saudi Arabia and Oman and Jordan. A whole entire desert turned into a lake. A lake. Flooded. The article is up on planetxnews.org. Video, tweets, everything's right there, folks. Deserts now being turned into lakes. Woo! Let's talk about our folks down under. Well, you know, over the course of the last couple of years, the people in Australia, they've had one hell of a time going into their summer. So right now, yes, they are going into their summer. Over the course of the next 30 to 60 days, their weather in Australia is going to turn into a living hell again. Mark my words. They are going to have very extreme temperatures. We may even see some wild cyclones and typhoons ripping across some of the shores of Australia. But once again, heat is going to play a huge factor for the people down under. There's nowhere to run from it unless you want to leave your country. It's coming. Trust me. Now, you can see the Antarctic ice is starting to shrink already. We are not even into the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere, and the ice sheet is it's not looking too good. Not looking good at all. So we will probably start to see very, very, very large sheets and chunks of ice breaking off of some of these ice shelves again through the summer season in the southern hemisphere. Watch for it. We'll start to see the reports coming out. We'll start to see it. But as you can see, folks, from here to here, okay, on the globe, you could see this massive, massive amount of higher temperatures straight across the entire world. Okay? So when people tell you that the Earth is cooling down, no, the Earth is actually heating up. And this is going to continue. Yes, we're always going to have winter time because of the Earth's rotation. It is wobbling excessively. I don't care what anybody says. I watch the models. I know what I see. I know what I've been documenting since 2015. And there have been others that have been documenting this wobble before me. Okay, so as this Earth we live on continues to wobble even more, it is going to create even more disastrous situations with our jet stream, with our weather. So it's almost like we're getting the 1, 2, 3 punch from every single direction. What's the main cause? If I tell you that all of this is being created by a stellar core object that has made its way into our solar system, and it has been captured by our sun several years ago, maybe you won't believe me. But how do you answer for all of these things that are occurring now? Just plain climate change? Planet X is your climate change. It's as simple as that. Let that sink in today, folks. Your climate change, the changing of the earth that you live on, is all in direct relation to what the sun has captured. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. At least I don't think so. But now that me and Dr. Albers are examining more and more and more about the sun losing its energy, there is a high possibility that the hold that the sun has on this object, maybe it does break away. Maybe it gets expelled out deep past our solar system and never comes back. I guess we'll just have to sit back and watch. But there are a lot of other objects out there rotating around our sun that mainstream astronomy and the government, they don't tell you about. I guess none of you have ever heard about the small planet Miku that rotates around our sun like this. Say, for instance, this is our sun. Miku orbits our sun this way. Up and down. Up and down. Yeah. You didn't know about that, did you? Maybe some of you did. Maybe some of you didn't. Astronomy, they tell you they don't know where it came from, but it's there. Miku does not orbit our sun on a regular plane, a flat plane like this. It orbits like this, up and down, up and down. Where did that object come from? Yeah. So you see my point, folks. Don't let anybody tell you that it is impossible for another object to be captured by our sun. Take a quick look at the planet Jupiter and how many moons Jupiter has captured just over the last 3 years. Don't let mainstream astronomy and mainstream science lie to your face, because that's what they're paid to do. They don't want to lose their funding. When they lose their funding, they lose their job. And let's face it, folks, there's not this huge employment line for astronomers. Okay? I think the world has enough of them. So if they start losing all of their funding, then the unemployment lines are going to be full of astronomers. And then they're going to be battling you for your jobs at McDonald's. Could you see that? Yeah, I got a guy serving me at McDonald's. He's taking some teenager's job. Oh, yeah, he's got a PhD in astronomy and astrophysics. But he kind of opened up his mouth, and now he's been ostracized and he can't get a job. Yeah. Similar to what they did to Dr. Albers. They made sure that Dr. Albers would never teach at a university ever again. They succeeded at that. But they failed. They failed at many other things. Because now Dr. Albers is free to express whatever she wants. And if there are people out there that don't like it, well, listen. I can't even say what I would like to say, But it is what it is, folks. I hope that today you were able to take something from this live stream. I hope that you learned something. The biggest message, be prepared. Be prepared, because things are not going to get better anytime soon. Definitely not in your lifetime. Be prepared, not scared. Stay in tune with all the information coming from Planet X News and Dr. Albers. And make sure all of you guys bookmark our new website, planetxnews.org. And again, I developed that website for all of you guys, so you have all of those tools right at your fingertips. We'll go ahead and bring it back up for, we'll bring it back up for a lot of the people that just popped in. And www.planetxnews.org, all of our links right up here. All of our articles right here. Let me just move over to the home page. And here are the links. All of our YouTube videos, they're automatically populated as they go up onto YouTube. And again, all of these research links, these are all of the links. Everything that I use on a daily basis, it's all right here. You have all of the weather radar, NextLab, National Weather Service. You have the meteor scan, Magnetopause, space weather, CME tracker, everything, ISWA, SOHO, stereo, earthquake map, USGS. It's all right here. The ionosphere, even today's moon phase, magnetic perturbation map, near Earth objects. And that's a whole other issue there, folks, because once again, we are seeing excessive levels of near Earth objects. Once again, if you don't believe me, look up the information. Okay? We have seen so many more asteroids, meteors, zipping by, coming very, very close to Earth, and then it's just a matter of time Like I've said before, Earth's going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and boom, we're going to have an impact. But again, folks, all of these links for your research are right there. So you don't have to go around looking for them. They're all right here on planetxnews.org. We have the live chat. You can simply click right here, click right there, log in with your Facebook page, and you are right there. Okay, click on that and you can start chatting away. Hello. There, I put it in right there. I'm going to be increasing this so at least 100 people can sit here and chat. You could share pictures and links and so on and so forth. When you want to exit, click that button and you're done. Okay, all of our articles that I've been writing, Dr. Albers, everything's right here. You can click on this button right here and you can see me live streaming. So this is live. I just had to turn the volume down. So as we do our live streams, you don't have to go to YouTube. Our live streams are populated right there. Okay, so you're actually watching me live right there on the screen. So bookmark it, planetxnews.org. Matter of fact, I will copy it and put it into the live chat right now. Oh, I see Jeff P's with us. Jeff, I know you just tried to call me, but I'm right in the middle of a live stream, my man. And I'll give you a call, Jeff, as soon as I get done with our live stream. But folks, trust me, go to our website, bookmark that website, put that website right up here in your links. All you need to do, if you don't know how to do it, go over here to that little lock, hold your left click button down and pull it. See that? You can pull it and put it right in your menu bar. Okay? And then that way you have it and it's right there. Right there. You also have Dr. Albers' blog. If any of you want to check it out, she has a daily blog up here with articles, and she puts up a lot of information on a daily basis, articles, things that she's interested in. And I will copy that and put it right in here also. So you guys, make sure you bookmark these pages, okay? And don't forget, share all of our articles, share our Facebook posts, because all of the information is becoming more and more important as time goes on. Let's take one more quick look at the earthquake activity. Boy, that is one hell of a string of earthquakes. Straight across the globe, folks. Nice big 4.2, or excuse me, 4.12. Right up here, that's close to the mountainous area. Yeah, that's not too far from Seattle, but that's up in the mountains here. 37.68 kilometers deep. Okay, folks, that's all that I have for you right now. And I'm going to be doing some live streams with Jeff P. I'm going to be bringing on Blue Kool-Aid, my new friend. And Blue Kool-Aid's doing a good job at trying to show people the evidence that he is finding. And subscribe to his channel. Make sure that you guys are subscribed to Jeff P's channel. Once again, you know, Jeff's out there, man, he's getting slam dunks on the sun simulator. And I know people make fun of us when we talk about it. But listen, man, you can make fun of the sun simulator all you want. The fact of the matter is, there are several of them up there. We have captured the evidence. But hey, if you want to be a skeptic, as I say, whatever. But we have the facts. We have the evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here for now. I'm going to get myself a nice cup of coffee, down a Red Bull, and get back to all of my research work. Make sure you stay tuned to Planet X News and Dr. Albers' channel. And be safe out there, folks. Be very, very safe. Take care. God bless.